It was a night like many others, and yet it would mark the beginning of a chilling, bloody tale. A tale of deception, betrayal, and a brutal act that would leave a city stunned. On the evening of July 8, 2024, 2 bodies, dismembered and stuffed into heavy suitcases, would be left to rot in a quiet corner of Bristol. But this wasn't a random crime. It was the work of one man, a man who lived among his victims, hidden behind a mask of charm and trust. His name, Yostin Andrés Mosquera. But who was he, and what drove him to commit such a horrific act? Before we dive into this bone-chilling case, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring the bell so you never miss a new story. This is a case you won't want to forget. Trust me, it's one of the darkest stories I've ever covered. Paul Longworth and Albert Alfonso, a couple who had spent decades together, quietly building a life filled with love, loyalty, and simple joys. Their flat in Shepherd's Bush, London, was their sanctuary. To their neighbors, they were the perfect couple. Their lives weren't public spectacles, nor were they infamous in any way. They were just 2 men living their truth. Then came Yostin Mosquera, a man from Colombia, known to some in the adult film industry. His charm was undeniable. He wasn't just a stranger passing through their lives, no. He became part of their world. Through mutual connections, Paul and Albert opened their home to him. What started as a professional relationship, transactional, even would evolve into something far darker. But how well do we truly know those we invite into our homes? How often do we ignore the signs, the little whispers of warning, until it's too late? Before we dive deeper into how things went terribly wrong, make sure you're subscribed. Your support means everything. Hit that bell, and like the video if you're already hooked. This story is far from over. Stay with us. While Paul and Albert went about their lives, blissfully unaware, Yostin began plotting. On the surface, everything seemed normal. But behind closed doors, a different story was unfolding. He began searching for freezers on Facebook Marketplace, looking up how to cause fatal head trauma, and even researching the financial value of Paul and Albert's flat. He wasn't just staying with them. He was calculating, studying, preparing for something terrible. With every online search, with every step he took, he was setting the stage for a murder. Yostin's descent into darkness wasn't impulsive. No, it was premeditated and cold. And on July 8, 2024, the night of the murder, Yostin was ready. It started quietly. Paul and Yostin were the only ones at home. Albert was said to be out, maybe for work or something. Yostin had made his plans. One man at a time, that day was a perfect moment for him. The soft hum of a peaceful evening in London. But when Yostin struck, it was swift and brutal. With a single blow, Yostin brought Paul Longworth's life to a violent end. The hammer struck hard, cracking open his skull. The damage was catastrophic, but Yostin wasn't done. With one man dead, he had Paul's body under the divan bed, waiting for the inevitable moment when he'd face his next victim. Then Albert returned, completely unaware that the man he considered a friend had already killed the person he loved. And in that final, awful moment, Albert too would meet a violent end. Yostin didn't just kill. He dismembered. He froze. He packed his victims into suitcases like discarded furniture. He thought he could escape the law, but what he didn't account for was the fact that the world always leaves traces. On the night of July 10, 2024, Yostin Mosquera made his way to the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol. 2 heavy suitcases, leaking blood, dragged behind him. What did he think he was doing? That he could simply dispose of the evidence and escape? A passerby on a bicycle stopped Yostin, noticing the blood seeping from the cases. He asked if everything was okay, and Yostin, not missing a beat, told him the suitcases contained car parts. But as we all know, lies have a way of unraveling. With further questioning and persuasion from onlookers and passerby, he left the suitcase on the bridge there and took to his heels. The bodies of Paul and Albert were found, butchered, broken, their final moments forever sealed in cold metal. If you're still with me, hit that subscribe button and don't miss the shocking twists yet to come. You're not going to want to miss how this story ends. Investigators pieced together the details: CCTV footage, financial records, digital forensics. Every step Yostin had taken was recorded. The money he stole from Albert's accounts. The way he searched for chest freezers and fatal blows to the head. It was all there. But Mosquera wasn't done. He fought back. He claimed it was manslaughter, that the killings were out of control. But the jury saw through the lies. The man who had come into their home, posed as a friend, and murdered both of them in cold blood was going to pay. After 5 hours of deliberation, the jury returned and Yostin Mosquera was found guilty of 2 counts of murder. It wasn't just his actions, it was the cold calculation behind them. And on October 24, 2025, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 42 years. The horror of what happened in that flat still lingers in the minds of all who followed this case. What was it that drove Yostin Mosquera to such madness? Greed? Desperation? Betrayal? The truth, it seems, is a mix of all 3. But justice was served. Though it couldn't bring back Paul and Albert, it did bring the truth to light. This case serves as a grim reminder. Trust is fragile, and darkness can lurk even where we least expect it. If you've stayed with us this far, I want to thank you for your attention and respect to these victims' stories. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the button now. Stay tuned for more deep dives into stories like this. And don't forget to like and share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay aware.